Joining me now, we have Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton. He serves on the House Armed Services Committee and is an Iraq War combat veteran. Congressman, it's always good to speak with you, but let's get right into Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who spoke to the Gang of Eight about the strikes, all but one, we are told, who was unable to be reached at the time. But Congress was not briefed. President Trump, in his own words, said he is pursuing war and regime change without congressional approval and without clearly showing there is an imminent threat to the U.S., though certainly military and diplomatic personnel in the region are now on high alert. But what is your immediate reaction to this assault? And will Congress assert its authority to decide whether to take our nation to war?
My immediate reaction, Alex, is this is illegal, it's unconstitutional. And no matter what kind of threat the Iranian regime is, I don't like the Iranian regime, it's something that you have to come to Congress and the American people to authorize. It seems like the only permission he sought was Benjamin Netanyahu's. He certainly didn't consult Congress, and that is his constitutional duty to do that. It also feels a lot like Iraq 2.0. If you think about the two foundational mistakes that Bush made going into Iraq, one was that the whole war was based on a lie about nuclear weapons. And number two, there was no plan for the day after. Well, that seems to be playing out right here because we obviously were lied to by the administration when Hegseth and Trump said that they obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons. That's pretty obviously the case since just months later now we're attacking those same facilities, apparently. And there's clearly no plan for the day after. The administration can't even clearly decide what they're after. Are they after the oil? Are they after the nuclear weapons? Are they after regime change? I don't think that there are many American parents who would say that their kids are worth losing their lives for Iranian oil.
In his address overnight, Trump acknowledged there could be U.S. casualties, saying, quote, American heroes may be lost. That often happens in war. Iran retaliated with strikes on Israel and several neighboring nations with U.S. military bases. How concerned are you, sir, about risks for U.S. service members and about the possibility of boots on the ground in Iran?
There are tens of thousands of American troops in the Middle East and an untold number of civilians. And there are tens of thousands of Iranian missiles pointed at those troops and those civilians. And Iran's regime right now would want nothing more than to kill a bunch of Americans in response to these attacks. Now, it may not be the president's plan to put troops on the ground, but it's pretty hard to imagine what kind of regime change he's going to get if he has no control over that situation on the ground. And I think the biggest concern I have is that we lose some pilots. Some pilots get shot down. They bail out over Iran. Iran has a long history of dealing with American hostages. We do not want to be in that position again. And if we have to put troops on the ground to rescue downed American pilots, it could be a recipe for a lot more trouble.
Yeah, that would certainly put special forces in harm's way potentially. But
or
let's
Marines.
talk about Trump.
But, you know, I had that mission, actually, Alex. My platoon was the TRAP platoon, the Tactical Recovery of Aircraft and Personnel platoon during Iraq. We got launched in response to a C-130 that was shot down. And you know, when you're out there on the ground just trying to recover a plane or pilots or whatever, it's a very precarious position. And it would be very easy for ground troops to assault and to start a ground war, whether you want one or not.
Trump has implored Iranians to overthrow their government after the U.S. assault, saying, quote, it will be yours to take. This probably will be your only chance for generations. So those remarks don't suggest the administration has a detailed plan for what comes next for Iran. Why is Trump pursuing regime change? Vaughn here in the studio has discussed it. You've put out hypotheses. But also, is there a roadmap? Does it even exist for Iranians to do that? Is it possible a more extreme government could replace the current one?
It's actually the last question you raise, Alex, that concerns me the most, that we might get regime change, but it could be an even worse regime. And the ingredients for getting a worse regime would be to empower the hardliners in Iran. Well, I'll tell you what, the best way I know to empower hardliners is to attack the country, to prove them right, that America's the evil enemy. You know, it's amazing how much public support there is for America over the years in Iran. Among the Iranian people, a lot of them really like America. So you want to find a way to turn them against America? We'll start dropping a bunch of American bombs on their schools, on their capital city, on their downtowns. And that's exactly what we're doing. So it doesn't seem like the administration has thought this through at all. I'm all for a regime change in Iran. I just don't think it's a good idea for American troops to make it happen.
So Trump's stated goals of this assault, eliminating Iran's nuclear program and missile infrastructure, taking out the supreme leader to effect regime change, it all points to the U.S. entering a protracted war. Military action in the region almost never ends well for the U.S. What are your concerns if this spirals into a prolonged regional conflict, and how long could it take to accomplish everything that Trump wants? And by the way, can it be done from the air and without troops on the ground?
I mean, I'm biased as an infantry officer, but no, I don't think you can do all these things from the air. And it seems pretty obvious that we didn't obliterate Iran's nuclear program from the air. We certainly learned in Iraq that it was a long, hard slog to get any sort of regime change at all, and that had to happen on the ground. And at the end of the day, the one thing the president has said that he wants is a diplomatic deal to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon. Well, he had that, Alex. He had it, and he tore it up in his first term. And not only did he tore up the agreement, the very agreement that he says he wants today, but as a result of that, we lost our eyes and ears on the ground in Iran, because we used to have international inspectors going in on a regular basis to keep track of their nuclear program. We even had cameras monitoring their nuclear facilities. Well, all that is gone because Trump tore up the Iran nuclear deal. And so we're in a much worse position to actually keep tabs on what they're doing, to actually understand the status of their program, to actually be able to intervene if they start breaking the deal that we had. So all of this is a problem of Trump's own making. And the first American troops to die in this conflict, all to do something that he undid himself, have got to ask, why are we risking our lives for this commander-in-chief?
Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton, our friend, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you.